Hey everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here. It's Wednesday, June 3rd, and let's take a look at the midweek where we are so far and look ahead at see what we got coming down the pipe the end of the week here. So you can see here on Wednesday, markets, you know, it's getting to be a routine day here where we buy, consolidate, and then more buying. The buying brigade keeps showing up, and we just keep going, we keep ticking higher. All the indexes pretty much the same, pretty orderly buying all the way through the day. Some consolidation midday, but yeah, the buying continues. I'm not sure if it's FOMO in part. A lot of people didn't expect this rally at all. Everybody, as you know, after we had that initial bounce, that sell off, the initial bounce, everyone was looking for a pullback, have to admit, including myself, and of course that never happened. People argue that the market is a forward-looking instrument, and they also argue that there's no connection between the market and the economy. So that's pretty proving to be the point right now, because the economy is absolutely in a bit of a mess, and the markets just keep going higher, and I think it was the Qs that actually made a new high today. They actually broke the prior high to when we had the sell-off. So yeah, it's just amazing. Never in a million years would I have thought this would have happened, but here we are. And so you can see here lots of strength in the market. This number of stocks above their 50 moving day average is over 90% now. This the number of stocks over their 200 day keeps moving, keeps increasing. So the buying continues, and the number of stocks continue to go up. Let's take a quick look at the groups and just see what sectors were doing well. But today, the industrials, real estate, and financials. Financials, I think, in part because of the increasing in the yields, and we'll talk about that in a minute. You can see energy was decent today. If you look at the week, utilities, safety trade kind of popped up here. Energy, real estate, basic materials, and on the month, industrials are still strong here. So a bit of a mixed bag on where we are. So let's take a quick look here at our indexes. You can see here the transports broke out today in a big way and on volume. And always like to see the transports breaking out with the market, just to sort of as a confirmation. Dow theory and all that. We do have a little bit of an area of resistance. There might be some resistance here, but doesn't look significant. It's just a bit of a flag, and I'd say the next area of significant resistance would be this 9,800, where the 200-day moving average is. But everything looks like series of highs lows on the RSI continues to look like it wants to strengthen. This is the chatter I was just talking about the yield. You can see there, this is the U.S. Treasury 10-year yield. We did break out today, and you can see here we've kind of been churning, just maybe inching our way higher, and now we broke out. And to be honest, this is I guess this is the one negative that I'm seeing right now in terms of arguments for the market going higher, because when yields start to go higher, typically the market it's not good for the market. So so the longer term price of bonds is dropping, which means the yields are going up, and which means this is what's happening here. RSI curling up here, and you can see stochastics moving up. So it's going to be interesting. Keep an eye on that. I have played the TBT through that. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. You can see here the Dow broke out again today, right at the 200-day moving average. RSI continues to strengthen, volume continues to build. Seems to be all systems go for a move higher. The small caps, the IWM, Andrew's been playing these. You can see here we tested the 200-day moving average, pulled back on that on the day. Volume was rising. RSI still looking like it wants to go higher. Stochastics heading higher. I think we will probably retest that 200-day moving average tomorrow. So this is what I'm talking about. The Q's actually on the high made a new high. You can see 137.47. Old high back here, 136.93. So we just inched over the high, the prior high from middle of February. And who'd have thought? Um, don't know what else to say. SPY. And you can see here, SPY broke out again today. Another high on this run up. Volume building, RSI continuing to move higher. All systems go. Buying brigade continues. And this is kind of an interesting chart. I was watching this on the weekend, mentioning that the dollar was looking like it was breaking down. And you can see here it actually broke down on big volume today. RSI continuing to trend lower. MACD, yeah, it's getting pretty oversold here, I would say. We'll be looking for a bit of a bounce, but it does look like it's the trend is lower, which should be good for places like emerging markets. And the EDC and the EM have actually done fairly well within the last couple days. VIX continues to break down, same story as the dollar. We just lost this level here. It looks like we're going to go down, maybe test this 200-day moving average. Certainly that'll probably be an area for some support on the VIX. So let's take a look quickly at what we got active here. I took this at the close today, like the way it closed out the day. Look at the volume here, big volume day, RSI turning up. There was, test of the 10 here, false breakout here, another test of the 10, and another test of the 10 yesterday, and then we broke out from 10 here today. So looking for a bit of a continuation here, and lots of volume in this range. So hopefully we'll getting some follow through tomorrow on that. CGC bought this one around 16 on because it was Monday on this pullback, and got up to 17 today. I didn't take any off. I'm really looking for something up here around 1750, and didn't quite get there today, but RSI looks like it's maybe going to turn back up here. Volume was light today. Hopefully stochastics are going to turn around here, and I'll be able to take some off. So this was another trade. Did this one on Friday, got this move here, took some partial, and then yesterday we had a pretty significant pullback, and I stopped out of the rest at flat. So I did get a partial on this one, but this does not look very promising right now. Sell off on a bit more volume, and yeah, so that was like I said, got a bit of a profit on that. I'm hoping for a push higher, didn't get it. So the stuff we're watching, gold, I'm keeping an eye on. It came off the low of the day, right at these areas of support. So we'll be keeping an eye on it tomorrow. Hopefully it can hold this level here around 1690. Pretty important level. If it can hold there, maybe we'll get a bounce back to 1750. So I'll be looking to play GDX or GDXJ. Etsy I was kind of interested in. Did a pullback, kind of consolidating here. Not really sure there's a trade there. GDX, again, this is a monthly chart. Let's look at the weekly. Again, it just kind of held this level, so if it breaks down here, I think there's a lot more downside, so I'll be keeping an eye on that tomorrow. Might even flip a position and go into something like Dust, which is a way to short the miners. GDXJ, again, looking for it to hold or break down, then I'll not flip my position, but I'll take a position to the short side. KWeb, surprisingly, just really taking off here. China-US, relations, a little bit chilly right now, but the Chinese stocks are continuing to go higher. It's kind of a surprising, again, another surprise. Can never be surprised by this market. Given that they're talking about delisting the stocks, the Chinese stocks too. LABU not doing very well here, obviously, probably partly because of the poor healthcare group performance. Silver had a huge run, caught that part of that with the PAS trade, but again, pulling back here. I'm going to watch this. There was a bit of a doji here, candle today, and maybe we'll get a reversal. It was really overbought here, and now we're getting a bit of a pullback, so maybe we'll get either some consolidation or continuation move higher. This is the reflection of the increasing yields. This is the TBT. I've played this for a swing before, and people that get my swing trade video or emails know I've been playing this sometimes through calls. The 16 calls I think was the last one I used. But you can see here we've really broken out here today, which was a reflection of the yields going higher, and yeah, so I don't have a position in it now, but you know, the volume was decent on TBT today. Our stochastics are heading up here. RSI is heading up. So I'm going to watch that one tomorrow just to see if we see what happens tomorrow. Maybe get a continuation. Again, IWM, way to play the small caps. And again, it came up and then kind of pulled back here. So maybe getting into a period of consolidation. And as we know, the small caps have underperformed all the other indexes so far. Natural gas, we get a report tomorrow. We'll see what happens from there. Maybe we've got a bit of a bottom here. We'll see how the inventory numbers come out an hour into the open, around 9:30 Eastern. They announce the inventory numbers. And lastly, you can see here oil prices. Oil's just not moving much today, bit of an indecision candle, a doji. I think there was an OPEC meeting today. I don't think anything really came out of it. So you would have thought traders might have been disappointed, but I guess they're still holding in on this energy trade, thinking that the opening up the economy is going to bring back the demand for oil. So we may go higher. Let's just take a look at how the XLE is doing. XLE, obviously energy sector, so you've got companies like ConocoPhillips and some of the big oil integrated company names in here. And you can see even though oil was flat on the day, they had a pretty good day. They came up and we've pretty much filled this gap here, this big gap down. And so we filled the gap, and maybe we're going to get a bit of a pullback tomorrow, but you know, the next level we could be looking at here is 46-ish. 46-ish. So let's see if we get a pullback. Usually what happens when we get a breakout like this, we get a check back to where the breakout point was. So the breakout point was just over 40, sort of 40.16, 40 and change, 40.36. So if we get a bit of a pullback here tomorrow, it may be some support. Prior resistance becomes support. And then we could be off to the races. So you get like this breakout, pullback, retest the breakout point, and then go higher. So we'll keep an eye on XLE. XLE could be a good way to play this, even if oil kind of stays where it is now in terms of price. All right, guys. Well, that's it. This is my book. I always end my videos on this, How to Swing Trade. It's on Amazon if you haven't checked it out. And that's it. 8:30 in the morning, tomorrow morning, live on YouTube. We will start the pre-market show. Peter will be joining Carlos tomorrow. Norm's still hiatus. He's stuck in between, we're waiting to get into his new house, and he just doesn't have a great place to get on and help us in the morning, moderate. But we're looking forward to having Norm back when he's settled in his new place and has a decent place to work out of with a reliable internet. So, and we will be starting the pre-market show at 8:30, and of course we will be trading the markets at 9:30 when the markets open. So have a great rest of the evening, everybody, and we will see you hopefully tomorrow morning in the room. Bye for now.